विश्व भर में लोगों से कहना चाहता हूं, कम मेक इन इंडिया।
Dear friends, on behalf of Delhi Study Group, which came into existence 33 years ago, and we have the who's who of India who have been associated with the Delhi Study Group for the past many years. On a non-political platform, we keep on organizing programs of national as well as international relevance. And today it's a unique honor that the Delhi Study Group with its office bearers have organized a dinner reception in honor of our dear friend Dr. Andrewcharlton, Member of Parliament of Australia, from the Labour Party, who is a renowned economist and who got elected from Parramatta in Sydney, Australia, and who has come over to India today for his book launch on Australia's Pivot. And it was a great pleasure that he accepted a warm invitation through my another good Australian friend of the Labour Party, Vijay Jolly. And that association again dates back to the years when the BJP was in the opposition party, and I used to coordinate the affairs of the party in the most turbulent times. Well, I'm so happy keeping connectivity with Australia, which I was telling you I have visited 38 times during the past 40 years. And the best part is, not only Andrew and his pretty wife who have come over, and we have the privilege of welcoming them, we also, and we have another friends, Sanjay is also a friend of yours, Sanjay Patel. Many years ago when I was the chief of the BJP Overseas Affairs, we had the privilege of working with him and under his leadership as the convener of the Australian chapter. Positions come and positions go, but I think with the passage of time, responsibilities multiply in business, in social work, in politics. We also have today Mr. Sanjay Deshwal from Sydney, again Parramatta, who has been working among the Indian community and the Australian community for the past many years. And the best part is, when I used to visit Sydney and used to go to the Chinatown, I used to dream about India town kab banega. But when Prime Minister Modi and the Honorable Prime Minister of Australia, also in the recent years with the active assistance of none other than Dr. Andrewcharlton, Little India in Parramatta, in Harris Park, in Sydney is going to take shape, all due to you, and we are so happy that today we are welcoming the Member of Parliament from that particular constituency from Australia. It's no coincidence. We today have from Fiji and from New Zealand a very prominent friend, a family friend, Mr. Jagdish Punja. Jagdish, thank you for having accepted our invitation also to come today. We also have one of our very, very young Member of Parliament, a member of a Delhi study group, a chartered accountant, now settled in Melbourne, Deepa Gupta, whom I met recently on my recent trip over to the South Pacific. There are many close friends, Dr. Lamba, Mr. Balihar, and a lot many friends whom I introduced to you in this short span. We can only say 976,000 भारतीय मूल के लोग, non-resident Indians, work hard for empowering not only Australia but also contributing for the development of Australia and that hemisphere in their own way. That 976,000 non-resident Indians in Australia are the pall bearers of the Australian economy. They are doctors, they are lawyers, they are businessmen, they are politicians, and they contribute whatever, and they make us feel proud. I visited 90 countries of the world during my past sojourn as a politician, as a businessman, as someone who loves to keep abreast and in communication in today's world. I just came back from a long trip to the South Pacific, Australia, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Solomons, Tuvalu, Nauru, with only one aim. If there would be one Indian on the Greenland, it is still Dr. Vijay Jolly's responsibility to touch base with him, to connect with him, to invoke the feelings of Mother India. People who have been born in India in different spheres, they have all done very well in whichever countries of the world are. And I am very privileged that I had the honor of working Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the former Prime Minister of India, the current Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi ji, and I can assure you, with Dr. Andrew, a young face in the Australian Parliament, is not only the voice of the Australians, but is also the voice of the South Pacific in your part of the world. We have gone through your biodata, your hard work, your education qualities, you're getting a degree, PhD in economics from overseas, after completing your graduation in economics from University of Sydney, and you, my son, also studied in Australia. The eldest son. But he chose to come back to India because that young man 12 years ago told me, India is 24/7. India is a country where there are so many opportunities. And this is Das Modi ji had visited Australia in November 2014. He was probably the first Indian Prime Minister who had the privilege of addressing the both houses of the Parliament in your country, sir. And subsequently, with his active engagements with all the Australian leaders in the South Pacific, India's relationship with Australia has assumed significance and importance in today's manifest. It is again, when Prime Minister Modi had visited Australia, the Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge were illuminated with the color of the Indian Tiranga, with the color of Indian flag. In Sydney again, invoking and motivating Indians all over the globe. Thank you, Australia, for giving that honor to the Indian Tiranga and the Indian. The Civil Nuclear Cooperation Agreement between India and Australia enables Australia to supply uranium to India for a civic use. Without that agreement, India would not have made the best use of the Australian uranium. What more to say and what not to say? I can only say the Delhi Study Group, the prominent NGO in India, active for the last 33 years, has many illustrious compatriots. We have Mr. Vijay Mehta, who is a patron and who is the Honorary Council of Romania in India. We have the former Mayor of the capital, Mr. Ravindra Gupta. Ravindra ji, ek minute khade ho jaye, please. We have, as I told you, many eminent friends who could not today come over in this severe chilly winters, but they have asked me to convey their warm regards to you, and we all firmly believe in promoting people-to-people friendship. We are apt at that. If we shake your hands, we will never leave you. And we are proud of our working ideologies, and we are so happy that we have people who are lawyers, who are doctors, who are engineers, who are architects, who are ex-servicemen. The membership of the Delhi Study Group is around 2,300 members. Even if we have to call them for a big meeting, it's a big cost involved. So in turns, we always keep up the struggles of activism alive. And I'm so happy that you accepted our invitation for today's program with such an illustrious gathering of friends. Before I end, this Ram Mandir replica is again distributed on a very wider scale in the capital by none other than Mr. Gopal Garg. Our dear friend, Gopal ji, ek minute khade ho jaye, please. This represents the ethos of Hindus. And it is not only over here. He has got replicas for all of you today also. Before you go, I will request Gopal to present a small replica, because this is the manifestation of the largest Hindu temple of Lord Ram coming up in Ayodhya, with the directives of the Ayodhya and the Supreme Court. And last year, MDU, we collected the holy water of 156 countries, including from Australia, including from New Zealand, including from Fiji, including from Pakistan, including from America, including from Burundi, including from Uganda, including from Singapore, including from Thailand. We collected that holy water in India. The Delhi Study Group members as a team, they were engaged for 31 long months. And those waters were preserved and packed in copper lotas by none other than the Delhi Study Group social media convener, Shalu. Shalu, can you please stand up for a minute? Shalu. And also the Executive Secretary of the Delhi Study Group, Mr. Vijay Jolly, who has been with me for the past 22 years. And then, in the attendance of 41 countries NRIs in Ayodhya, with all the mighty saints, diplomats, ambassadors, journalists, people from all walks of life. We were expecting a gathering of 350 people, but more than 1,500 people converged in Ayodhya, and they offered the 156 nations water in the Ayodhya Ram Mandir. And that of course included from Uzbekistan, the Janamstali of the Babur, the Mughal emperor, in whose name This distinction goes that he and his warriors, invaders in India, destroyed the Hindus' temple and built up a mosque there. But we also got the water from his country, Uzbekistan, where he was born. And it was not bought by a Hindu, it was bought by a Muslim brother and a friend of Delhi Study Group, Mr. Taj Muhammad. So the best part, what I was explaining to you, the Grand Mandir which will be inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi on 22nd of January, has come up with the good wishes, not only Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Parsis, and people from various walks of life, including people believing in Buddhism. So this is replica which we have presented you, will bring in prosperity, will bring in all the good wishes of the people of India in your leadership to do more to strengthen India and Australia strategic comprehensive relationship, also in all spheres, whether it is defense, whether it is cyber security, whether it is education, whether it is agriculture, whether it is the students' education, because a lot of students go to Australia and study. I have a 5-year visa. I don't need your recommendation. But I have earned from Australia. And I was telling him, I have been doing business with the largest Australian corporations like Targets, the Crazy Thing bargain stores, the warehouse people, and the Indian stores in Australia who import a lot of made in India goods and distribute, which make us all feel proud. I'm so happy, along with my whole team of friends who have got together to welcome you and your pretty wife, and we can only assure you that we will keep up this relationship alive. Your Honorable High Commissioner today was not in the capital. I had invited him, but he had a private commitment in Gujarat. So we said, okay sir, you are excused because you are the Honorable High Commissioner and we are the Honorable activists in the capital, which is New Delhi, Republic of India, led by my great Prime Minister, my great leader, Mr. Modi ji. Thank you once again, and I thank you, my MC for the evening, for having provided me with the chance to welcome you all and also welcome our dear friend. I would request all of you to give a standing ovation to our honored guest today. And we are kind.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Jolly.